Hi, welcome back to my channel, Sober Life. I hope you're all well. So, in my intro video, I started it by saying I'm not going to introduce myself as an alcoholic. So, hi, I'm an alcoholic. Because I said I wasn't sure whether I was one or not. Years ago, again in my 30s, I did have this moment of like, I'm an alcoholic. And it hit me like a punch in the face, really. And I was like, oh no. And it made me a bit teary, and I thought, my God, I'm an alcoholic. Because there's no positive connotations with that label, is there? Oh, hi everybody, I'm an alcoholic. No, people don't do that. Unless they're a bit strange. So it was a bit upsetting, and I think perhaps after that I went into a little bit of denial, as we do. I thought, I'm not an alcoholic. It seemed too serious, did that. And as a person who's felt defective most of my life, calling myself an alcoholic didn't really make me feel much better about myself. So I probably thought no. And then I've heard different things. People have got a different idea of what an alcoholic is. You know, some would say, did you wake up in the morning and drink? No. The only time I did that was when I was still up from the night before. I've been to an outdoor rave. Or when I went to France. And I went to, I was sat in a beer garden at 10:30 in the morning with a beer. There may have been a couple of times when I had a drink in the morning because I could, but it wasn't because I woke up thinking I need a drink. So that wasn't me. But does that mean I'm not an alcoholic? Well, I looked online. I thought, okay, I'm going to put in what's an alcoholic. Considered an alcoholic. So, first thing I found, it says, being unable to limit the amount you drink, wanting to cut down on how much you drink, and making unsuccessful attempts at cutting down, spending a lot of time drinking, thinking about drinking, or recovering from drinking, feeling a strong craving or urge to drink alcohol. Well, I tick all those boxes. So does that mean I'm an alcoholic then? Another one said, because I think it came up as what's the difference between problem drinking and alcoholic. Problem drinking is associated with someone who drinks too much, too often, or during inappropriate situations. I don't know what they consider inappropriate, because in this culture it seems appropriate to drink at any point. Doesn't it, really? Even children's birthday parties, I've done that as well. Alcoholism, on the other hand, is a complex disease characterised by compulsive drinking regardless of the negative consequences. Well, I tick that box as well. I mean, negative consequences are varied. It might be that you feel like utter shit the next day, or even before the next day. And I've had many a time where I thought, this is it, my time's up. I felt so bad. I know it sounds dramatic, but really I felt so ill. And I thought, my liver, it's packing up. This is how it feels to die. Because I felt so ill. And thought, well, if I survive this, I promise I'm never going to drink again. But of course I did, as soon as I felt better. Feeling like shit was just a distant memory. There's obviously the social consequences, and I faced a few of those as well. Making an absolute tit of myself, getting into situations I wouldn't get into if I was sober. And to be honest, it was more those that have affected me and made me think I shouldn't drink, not the physical symptoms. Because in latter years, I haven't got to the state where, maybe because I've built up a tolerance, I don't know, because I was drinking vodka every day, but I never got to the point where, very rarely, I'd feel so ill that I thought I can't do that again. Because drinking every day, I could drink more if I was in a social setting, but I was very much a solitary drinker a lot of the time. So I didn't really get ill with the vodka. I used to think that I'd drink and think it's not really affecting me that much, whereas if I had like a glass of red wine, I can't believe I went through a phase of drinking that, but I've been through a phase of drinking a lot of things. But anyway, a glass of red wine would make me feel quite drunk straight away, whereas I could have several vodkas, which of course is much stronger, and not have that same effect, which is a bit strange. It must be a difference in how it's metabolized or something, I really don't know. Or maybe it's perhaps more yeast content in the wine, because I've had issues with yeast, but that's another story. So anyway, I get off topic sometimes, you'll have to bear with. And the problem is, because my memory's so shit, is that alcohol use over the years. I forget what I'm talking about. So, according to this information, I am an alcoholic, and saying, hi, I'm Coral, I'm an alcoholic. Ow! What's that? That just got me. Something just pricked me under the table. Is a little bit shocking, to be honest. I still have that like, whoa, I'm an alcoholic. Do you have that feeling? If you've identified yourself as an alcoholic, how did it make you feel? You there, you watching. And if you've not identified yourself as an alcoholic, how would it feel to identify as that? Does it feel too shocking to you? Because I think years ago I probably went into a bit of denial, like I might have said earlier in the video. I thought, no, I'm not that bad. I'm not an alcoholic. I don't drink in the morning. Well, that's where all this started, I think. Half an hour ago. I don't drink in the morning. I'm not homeless, living on the streets, drinking cider or whatever. Because those things could be seen by some, at least, as being an alcoholic. But of course, alcoholism it's progressive, I think. Well, I'm not the only one who thinks it, but it's not that you have a drink today, half a lager today, and tomorrow you're an alcoholic, homeless, drinking cider on a park bench. It doesn't usually work like that. People work up to it. Certainly my drinks have got stronger. My first pissed experience was on a half bottle of Newcastle Brown as a 14-year-old in a pub in Bradford, which is where I'm from. I don't think they do half bottles anymore, Newcastle Brown. But yes, I was pissed on that. And now I'm on a, well, not now obviously because I'm sober now, but last time I was drinking, I was on bottles of vodka a day. So I obviously progressed. I didn't stay on half a bottle of Newcastle Brown, did I? And we don't. But obviously the more we drink, the worse it gets. The worse the consequences will probably be. And the closer we get to being homeless on a park bench, I suppose, in theory at least. Although of course there are functioning alcoholics who, hold down responsible jobs. I mean, I had a responsible job and I was still drinking every day, so I was a functioning alcoholic as well. But anyway, is it useful to have that title, label, however you want to look at it? Alcoholic, I'm an alcoholic. I think it can make you feel worse about yourself, which is not going to help the drinking. Feeling bad about ourselves can be a reason for us drinking in the first place. So having that label might not help. However, the converse of that is that a label might make us sit up and take notice, think, bloody hell, that's serious shit, I need to do something about it. It's like if you see it like a diagnosis even, as opposed to a label. I'm diagnosing you as an alcoholic. Like if you were diagnosed as somebody who's got diabetes, or I've diagnosed you've got cancer, or whatever, ordinarily you'd want to do something about that, wouldn't you? Okay, I've got diabetes, what can I do about it? How can I help myself? So if you see alcoholic being seen as an alcoholic as a diagnosis rather than a label, a negative label that is, then maybe it allows us to, I don't know, react differently to it. Well, let me know your thoughts in the comments section. That would be good. I'll leave it there for now. So, if you're somebody who is dealing with alcohol issues or has dealt with alcohol issues and you would like to share your story on this channel, then think about getting in touch. I'll leave my email down below the video and we can either meet face to face, that'll depend on how practical that is, of course, or we can do a Zoom, probably a Zoom call, and which will be a pre-recorded interview, so you don't need to worry about it being live if that's like, oh no, I don't want to do that, which would be understandable. So there's scope for it being edited, of course, and you know, if you've said something that you think, oh, I wish I hadn't have said that, it can be edited out, that sort of thing. So yes, please feel free to get in touch. That'd be good to hear from you. And that's it. So I'll leave it there. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Bye for now.